Mount Shasta is known as one of the most paranormal places in America. UFO sightings, Bigfoot, ancient high-tech cities, made-up religions, demon grandmas making little boys poop. This place has it all. But what secrets truly rest beneath Mount Shasta? After becoming obsessed with the mystery, or rather, after my brother told me it would be a good place to make an easy YouTube video, I knew I had to get into my motor vehicle and discover the secrets for myself. Will I fall into a portal into an alien dimension? Will the demon grandmothers adopt me as their own? Or will I become stranded at the base of the mountain in search of something that doesn't actually exist? The reality of my adventure is something I genuinely did not see coming, and very quickly became one of the craziest things I have ever done. Upon arriving at Mount Shasta, I was amazed by its beauty. Something about big pointy rocks surrounded by trees really gets me going. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, I was not able to book a hotel in Mount Shasta City and had to settle for the next town over. Oddly enough, staying in weed actually played a big role in giving me a lead later on, so hopefully I can maintain your viewer retention until then, which is about halfway through the video, like right here, so just stick around, please. Shortly after my arrival, I decided to make my way into the mountain and get the story started as soon as possible. So I did some last-minute research on personal accounts around the mountain and found this story on Reddit, where someone traveled along a dirt road north of the mountain and came across a dried creek, and after discovering the creek, all sounds went quiet, and they witnessed a tall, white figure observing them from across the creek. An angelic hum struck their ears. The creature stood still, as if they were examining the person from head to toe. Then the creature cocks its head in curiosity. Out of fear, the Redditor looks back and begins making an escape. And as they turn their head back towards the creature, it's gone. Immediately, full sprints back to the car. Spooky stuff. Thankfully, they were kind enough to leave the exact coordinates where this incident took place, and it's only 30 minutes away. Beautiful. As I headed out on my first journey into the mountain, I needed some supplies. My plan was to get like a headlamp or a flashlight or something in case I was at the mountain until after dark. I didn't find a light or anything, but I did find something much better. I found Jesus. Maybe Jesus could help me on my expedition.
What do these mean? Just Jesus, right?
Now this creature that the Redditor witnessed, I believe is a Lemurian, an ancient human-like species that existed during the same time as Atlantis, another visibly pale, highly advanced alien species that apparently is responsible for creating Western society by introducing things like dinner table manners and clothing that hides your genitals. Before the Great Flood that wiped out Atlantis, these two groups were at war with each other. Maybe they were fighting over whether or not they should be allowed to do ethnic cleansing of indigenous populations and exploit the global south for profit. Issues we are still debating about today, for some reason. Whatever they were fighting about, it eventually led to the Lemurians retreating from their homeland in the Pacific Ocean to Mount Shasta, where they built an underground city for their own protection. Since then, these creatures have been seen by hikers dozens of times, allegedly. Some claim they almost look like elongated cat people, while others claim they look like tall, skinny white people with blonde hair and blue eyes. Thankfully, I am also a tall, skinny white people with blue-ish eyes, so I'm hoping I will fit right in and potentially be invited to see the city as others claim to have been. A slightly more bizarre story comes from a young boy who went missing on the mountain during a hike. After he was discovered a few hours later, he spoke of this other grandma he met on the mountain, not realizing it was different from his own grandmother. This grandmother seemed friendly at first, but then instructed the boy to defecate on a piece of paper. But he didn't have to go. This is truly terrifying stuff, so I made sure to use the bathroom before I left, just in case. Other people claim to see Bigfoot around the mountain, and an odd number of people have gone missing during their hikes, allegedly falling into portals to a different dimension. So it really sounds like anything could happen. And as I pulled up to a dirt road, marked with a sign that says "Enter at your own risk," I would be lying if I said I wasn't scared. This road was rough, very rough. I think my car can handle it for the most part, but one wrong bump and it could be very bad. As I drove up, a white pickup truck passed me and they waved. Also, I saw an RV with people camping on the side of the road. Clearly this place has interest to others. Maybe they're hunting for Lemurians as well. I'm not about to pull over and question these people camping, but I did feel a little better knowing I'm not completely alone out here. I continued up the bumpy dirt road for maybe another mile or two when I approached railroad tracks. Private tracks, permission needed to cross. This seemed like it could have been the end, when all of a sudden, my first paranormal experience happened. I blinked and magically appeared on the opposite side of the tracks. Chills ran down my spine. But I suppose, given I didn't cross the tracks myself, and that this was a paranormal incident, legally, I should be good to go. And so I did. About another mile or so up the road, I reached a 90-degree turn at what seemed to be a dried-up creek, potentially the same one in the story. It looked like my GPS wanted me to continue going straight, but the only way forward was down this 90-degree turn, which is not where I needed to go. So I decided to stop here, given the road was getting much more rough, and I wasn't going to make it to my intended destination anyways. But something still felt off about this place. I kept hearing mechanical sounds off in the distance towards the mountain, along with this general, eeriness. I don't know. I've been traveling a lot recently, but this might have been the most alone I have ever been. There was this physical pressure I could feel. This anxiety of being so alone paired with the unknown, I guess. I could die alone with Jesus as my only witness. Or maybe it's the anxiety that I might not be so alone after all. I don't know what I'm hearing right now. It's like it's either a car or it's like weather. I looked long and hard for anything abnormal, and I genuinely wanted to see something. It's kind of a strange feeling to look out into the wilderness, hear these quiet, foreign mechanical sounds coming from the mountain, and truly waiting, patiently, and hoping to see something unexpected. But maybe my isolation is just getting to me and I'm working myself into distress. And maybe the mechanical sounds I'm hearing were just the sounds of cars driving by on the road, reflecting off of the mountain, so it sounds like they're coming from the mountain itself. We may never have a definitive answer, but without any other option, I lit my Jesus candle and said my blessings. I love you, Lemurians, and ghosts, and Jesus, and, you guys are awesome. You're killing it. You're great. So day one was a bit of a bust. I'm a little disappointed I didn't see anything, but looking at the mountain in the darkness, a feeling of excitement continues to hold me. I know there are secrets out there for me to discover. I know that. Wait, holy that's I've seen that one. I've seen that. That's an alien. That's an alien right there. Oh wait, that's just a lens flare. It's from a light post right over here. Damn it. Never mind. All right, well, see you tomorrow. Okay, day 2. I have a plan. I'm going to try and speak with someone a part of the I Am movement that I heard about, and maybe get some personal insight about what's really going on here, and get some recommendations about visiting the mountain itself. I will discover something, whether I like it or not. So if I'm honest, I can't really remember where I heard about the I Am religious group. I was probably just scrolling around on Google Maps and saw something that said I Am and was like, what is this? I don't know. But looking into it a little bit, I know that this involves something around worshiping the mountain or something, I think. So first thing in the morning, I head straight there. And upon arrival, there was nobody. Not a single car. Which makes me feel kind of weird. I don't know. I was really hoping someone would just be here. I guess it's a Saturday. People go to church on Saturdays, right? I don't know. There's no way I'm ringing that doorbell. That would be crazy. Actually, it. What's the worst that could happen? And no answer. But while waiting, I did get a peep of something on the inside. Now, I'm not pressing my face against this glass, but I can see a really creepy portrait of a man with huge purple eyes staring at me. Something is really off about this place. I'm kind of glad no one answered the door. But also, there's an I Am reading room in town. It's only open 2 days during the week, and that includes right now. I'm going. Here goes nothing. As I enter the I Am reading room, immediately I see him. The big purple-eyed man staring at me. And there's several more portraits with the same eyes shooting daggers right into me, along with pamphlets and photos of various religious activities. This place is crazy. An older woman peeps her head out from a door in the back. I introduce myself immediately and start asking questions as to not seem suspicious. I explain that I'm fascinated about stories surrounding the mountain and heard some things about this I Am place and was curious what they were all about. She explains that this guy, Bill something, met this other guy, St. George German, on the mountain. And after that, Bill wrote the first 3 volumes of texts about his findings. So I decided to read a little bit of the first chapter to get a better idea. And as I sat down, this middle-aged man walks in, talks with the woman for a second, and then they both go into the back. That's when I was able to take all these photos. But so the first chapter is called Meeting the Master. Apparently, during a hike around Mount Shasta, Bill ran into this white man with big blue eyes. "Hand me your cup, and I will give you something much better than spring water." Bill complied, and then instantly the cup was filled with creamy white liquid. "Drink it," the tall white man said. So Bill did. He wrote, "While the taste was delicious, the electrical, vivifying effect in my mind and body made me gasp with surprise. That which you drank comes directly from the universal supply, pure and vivifying as life itself. In fact, it is life, omnipresent life, for it exists everywhere about us. It is subject to our conscious control and direction, willingly obedient when we love enough, because all of the universe obeys the behest of love. Whatever so I desire manifests itself when I command in love. I held out the cup, and that which I desired for you appeared. See, I have but to hold out my hand, and, if I wish to use gold, gold is here." Instantly, there lie in his palm a disc about the size of a $10 gold piece. He continued, "I see within you a certain inner understanding of the great law, but you are not outwardly aware of it enough to produce which you desire direct from the omnipresent universal supply." I'm gonna stop reading there. This guy keeps going on and on about weird stuff. Also, the wall of pamphlets seemed a bit weird because towards the second half of them, a lot of them have pictures of America and the United States flag on them. And that, to me, seems like a big red flag. I picked up the one around 2020 thinking it would be pretty spicy, and right in there was a poem called "I Am God's Will Controlling the Conventions and Elections." The poem itself doesn't mention anything about politicians, but alright, after taking way too many pictures of the place while the old lady was in the back, she came out and I quickly hid my phone in my back pocket. Literally had to turn around and slip that thing into my back pocket to avoid her seeing this. And so I started asking questions immediately because I was like just red with embarrassment. I tried to press more about the story itself and about the mountain. I was like, so this Saint Germain or Saint Germain guy, does he live on the mountain? And she explained, these books were not written by humans, but for humans. So you really need to read them all to get a better idea of what's going on. And apparently the Saint Germain guy is going to help take America to the next golden age, is what she was saying. Clearly I need to read more about this to get a better idea, but I feel like I'm not specifically learning about the Lumerians. I kind of feel like I need some more firsthand experience. So I asked where the most active place on the mountain is for sightings, and she recommended Panther Meadow. All right. Time to go into the mountain. Again. Now, as I'm driving up the mountain, I reach a massive amount of cars parked in front of a closed road sign. Perfect. Once again, I'm gonna just have to work with what I got here and hike up this path where everyone else is going. And just stepping outside of my car, I did notice a weird aura about this place. Definitely felt different immediately getting out of my car. I don't know exactly what it is. Maybe it's the fact that I just drove up like 5,000 feet and the air is just a bit thinner, or aliens. Only one way to find out. Right away, I spotted this group of people in a circle doing some kind of ominous singing or something. I'm not sure you can hear it in this clip, but like they're like, like it's really, it's like that, I swear. It's really spiritually sounding. I'm gonna make a pass of that open area when or if I come back down the mountain. I really do hope to be invited into the Lemurian city, so I packed an extra toothbrush and a banana, just in case I stay the night. During my hike up the mountain, I ran into about 4 groups of hikers, and I asked every single one of them about the Lemurians, and any stories that they've heard about the mountain. Every single one of them said they haven't seen anything, which disappointed me to be surrounded by so many non-believers. But I refuse to believe each and every single one of them. I know the truth is out there. I know the Lemurians are real. Okay, I need to be honest for a second. If you can't tell I'm joking around a little bit, there's a link to an autism test you can check out. Drop a comment down below and let me know what score you got. I got a 136, so I'm right around here. But with that being said, I need to reiterate, I am trying very, very hard to find something and to believe. I am not going to come into this story a hater and claim everything is bullshit. If you say there are portals and an ancient civilization under this mountain, let's see it. Why not? If I can capture evidence of Lemurians on camera, then maybe I'll go viral and make a ton of money and I can quit my job and become an alien influencer or something. That does bring another question up, which is, if I do find something, will people believe me? Will people think I'm faking it for views? Am I gonna go crazy trying to convince the world that I actually met a Lemurian and got invited into their city? Like, I do have experience with After Effects, so this would be a very easy thing to fake. Just put a blurry image of a white guy hiding behind a tree. Like, that would be so easy. But I want the real thing. I want to believe. I want to meet a Lemurian. I really feel like I'm trying. I really feel like I'm trying to see it. Maybe the real Lemurians were the friends we made along the way. After hours of looking, the only piece of evidence I found on this mountain was some little boy poop that may or may not have been facilitated by a demon grandmother. I can't confirm this. There's a chance this is real, and there's a chance that this is proof of the Lemurians living under the mountain, but it's not good enough for a YouTube video. So after about another hour or so, I reached my stopping point. I created a small circle of rocks because I forgot my Jesus candle in the car, so this is, some sort of tribute thing to do, I guess. I don't know. It's all connected. Right. I then made my way back down the mountain to where those people were singing earlier. Within the clearing, and in great view of Mount Shasta, I find some small paths created with rocks and some hearts and trinkets left by worshippers. A couple feet away, I find another circle, and a little tower of rocks with more trinkets and offerings. Seems like a very respectful thing to do. I already did my offering up on top of the mountain, but this seems like a great place to really solidify my relationship with the Lemurians. I see some people have left money behind, so I did the same. I heard spirits like money. I'm sorry. Ah. Oh my god, the bee. I return to my car with very little evidence of Lemurian life and contemplate what to do next. This place is extremely beautiful, and I enjoyed my hike, but it's hard to put my hope and spirit into genuinely finding something supernatural and just being let down. It just feels like, why am I taking this so seriously? I don't know. It's not a good feeling. This video is really just going to be me running around a mountain, making jokes about Jesus, and that's it, but I don't even think Jesus can save this video now. Feeling defeated, I decided to drown my sorrows out with a pint and a chicken sandwich. Behind the bar, I could see posters of Mount Shasta and even an old DVD that looks like a documentary about the Lemurians. Ugh, my reality was taunting me. This journey has been a failure, and I wasted my time. There is nothing to find here at Mount Shasta. I have no ending for my story, and I have completely lost hope. That's when everything changed. To my left were 3 middle-aged women ordering drinks, and all of them were wearing lanyards, which said, Lemurian Life Expo. Holy shit. A quick Google search revealed to me that there is a full-blown, multi-day convention surrounding Mount Shasta, the Lemurians, and various other spiritual doobly-doos, complete with dozens of speakers and workshops. And it's happening right here in Weed, California. Tickets start at $500 for the whole convention, and the complete package with every workshop you can attend is $1,000. This sounds awesome. Oh my god, this is the ending to my story I've been looking for. I have to get into this conference.
And what you are doing here this weekend is accessing your Lemurian records, and you are opening those records, and they have not been opened at this level for a very long time, and that is by design. As Lemuria began, it started with beings of light who descended into physicality. And then you got deeper and deeper into that. And then as you're coming back up, you are remembering times that you lived in Atlantis, and then you are moving into your Lemurian records.
Shortly after the 3 women ordered their drinks, the person behind the counter came up to me and said, "Are you at the Lemurian thing too?" And I said no, but I am actually here to investigate stories surrounding them and surrounding the mountain. The bartender then told me that they've lived here their whole life and have heard every story in the book about the Lemurians, and how a lot of these stories actually seem to be based around white supremacy. Like these stories of tall, skinny white people with blonde hair and blue eyes who have a massive stockpile of gold and also ancient genius technology that is responsible for everything we have today. Naturally, in response, I was like, oh yeah, kind of like the I Am Church thing that I explored, like the reading room in the temple thing. And then they explained that's actually something different from the classic Lemurian story, but ironically also involves a tall, white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed savior that is going to take America into the next golden age. Lots of interesting parallels here, but apparently these I Am people are really obsessed with colors, and you can spot someone who follows the I Am movement in a crowd because they always wear a pastel color palette and really focus on blues and purples. And apparently, to them, the color red is a sign for the devil or evil spirits or something like that. And I walked into the I Am reading room trying to be secret and undercover and steal information from them wearing a big bright red t-shirt. Oops! I am secretly recording the entire room, obsessively photographing as many pages of these books as I can, wearing a bright red sign on my chest that says, "I am the devil, do not trust me." She could have took one look at me and said, "You're a bad guy, you have malicious intent, I can see it right on your chest, get the f*** out," and she would have been correct. Holy f***. I am not going to make a mistake like that again. Tomorrow, I'm wearing a blue shirt to avoid suspicions of being an imposter. And maybe the blue could score me some bonus points as well. I don't know. I'm hoping these people aren't as far gone as the I Am group, but I really have no idea what to expect now. So I arrived around 1 p.m., right in between two sets of workshops scheduled for the day. There's no way I'm paying $500 for a full ticket to this thing, so I'm hoping in between workshops I can just catch someone outside the expo getting lunch or something and extract whatever info I can get out of them. I'm sitting in my car, watching a few people come in and out, and I'm pretty terrified. My biggest fear, I guess, is that these people will find out my secret, that I'm, like, trying to study them and expose their operation or something. Maybe they could get aggressive with me, lock me in a basement, torture me, I don't know. Or maybe they'll just ask me to leave. Anything could happen, really. But I need to be brave. I've come too far to give up now. I see this couple at a food truck, waiting to get their food. Once they get their order and they start walking back to the event, I realize this is my chance. And I open the car door. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, sorry to bother you guys. Are y'all with the Lemurian conference?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm visiting from out of town, and I came here to Mount Shasta after I started reading about the stories about the Lemurians, and I kind of got obsessed with it all. But honestly, I had no idea the conference was going on. Could you tell me a little bit about it?
Oh yeah, it's been freaking mind-blowing, man.
Really?
Like oh my god. Seeing the main event yesterday with the group channeling on stage, it was awesome. Just at a workshop talking about sacred geometry. It's been something else, man.
Wow, how did you find out about all this?
Oh, I've been watching an interview with ED for a long time now. Have you seen the YouTube channel?
Oh, yeah, I think I have, actually.
Yeah, so once he started talking about the expo, I was like, oh man, I totally gotta make it out there for that. Because, you know, Ruben, he's a real genius, getting some really amazing people together. And I think
Pretty quickly, I get the sense I have nothing to fear. These people don't seem like they're gonna hurt me at all. He talked for another minute about sacred geometry or whatever, but I found it kind of strange he didn't say anything about the Lemurians. So I asked again. But the Lemurians, like, what about them? Have you been to the mountain? Has anyone seen the Lemurians around here?
Well, we haven't made it up there yet, but do you want to come inside and see some of the vendors?
Oh, yeah, sure, why not?
Amazing. There's this really great guy who makes crystal bowls and does sound baths. Really mind-blowing stuff.
Holy, this is happening. Holy, this is so awesome. Oh my god, this is so awesome. Oh my god. As we approached the building, I saw a few people wearing tie-dye shirts and flowy dresses with lots of patterns on them. We passed by a cheap-looking poster hanging in front of the main door, leading us inside. Once inside, there was a small table with some papers and a small cash box. We walked past the table and into the main hallway. Yeah, I didn't pay a dime. Immediately, I start recognizing the bald beard guy as well as Wendy. These are the people I've seen on the Lemurian website. These are the celebrities and leaders of the event, and I'm walking amongst them. I am having so much fun. But as I'm walking around, I can't shake this feeling that I'm sure that this is the only venue that they have access to, but for something priced at over $1,000, I really expected this place to feel a bit more polished. Like, this is just a community college. I don't know, this place really feels like it would look the same any other day of the year. Lockers in the hallway, bulletin board with local events, no additional decorations or anything. It just feels so incredibly cheap for something so expensive. I don't know. But so we walk into the market or vendor room or whatever. There's about 5 or 6 tables set up with various crystals, pyramids, DVDs, flash drives, stuff like that. And my new friends introduce me to the crystal bowl people. And immediately they leave and go get ready for another workshop or something like that. The crystal bowl people do a little demonstration for me, and it sounded nice, honestly. But right after the demonstration, I explained myself. So I kind of fell down the rabbit hole reading stories about the Lemurians and the mountain and everything, and I went up there yesterday to try and find something, but I didn't have any luck. Have you been up there yet?
No, we've been working at the expo all weekend. Haven't had time to do anything else, really. Were you, more interested in the Lemurians or the expo?
The Lemurians?
I think I know someone you should talk to. Should be more helpful than me.
Okay, sweet. All right, I am once again being bounced around to talk to another person. This is fine, I guess. But then he takes me to the woman sitting behind the cash box. They're gonna make me pay for this, aren't they? But there was someone else speaking with her at the moment, so I just sort of awkwardly stood there waiting. But listening to their conversation while I was waiting, the person buying a workshop seemed kind of doubtful. I don't know. My girlfriend was saying, is this really worth $200? But you convinced me. I'll take 2 tickets for the animal channeling workshop, please. I wonder why someone would think it's not worth $200. That's interesting. Waiting and listening to their conversation, I felt someone next to me was almost staring at me. A somewhat young-looking guy with long hair. He was looking at me with this kind of intensity. Either he was sussing me out, or he's just high. I don't know. Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Amazing. Sorry for staring. I was kind of drawn to your bright blue shirt.
That's funny. Have you been here for the whole convention?
Yeah.
How has it been?
Incredible. Were you here yesterday?
No, I was just visiting because I've been reading about the Lemurians and the mountain so much, I kind of got obsessed with it all. I heard about this expo randomly yesterday, so I missed it, unfortunately.
Oh man, the group channeling was insane. Do you know about channeling?
No, what's that?
Are you signing up for one of the workshops? I think you can sign up for one for $100. You should do either Jamie or Assie. They're both very, very good channelers.
Yeah?
Yeah, here, let me show you. Jamie does channeling with the Aaron Council of Time, and Assie does channeling with animals. Either of these should give you a good idea on what channeling is.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, Jamie is really, really good. I'd do that one if I were you.
Oh, okay, sweet, sounds good. Am I really about to spend $100 on a workshop on whatever channeling is that could take up to 3 hours? Well, I've come this far. Also, I've made a big deal about spending $100 in my last video I made over a year ago, and I don't want to seem like a wimp again. So, let's do this. I bought 1 ticket to see Jamie Price in the Infinite Heart Mind Workshop.
Have a transformative experience.
Steven said as I headed towards classroom 103. Entering the classroom, I saw about a dozen or so people, all of them in their mid-40s and 50s, I think. I sat down right in the front row, equipped with my name tag, showing everyone, yes, I did actually pay for this workshop. Sweat accumulates under my armpits. When Jamie enters the room, I sense a level of confidence and wisdom radiating off of her. I instantly felt a spark between my heart-mind and her heart-mind, and the infinite connections between us begins to grow or shrink or something, and then our spirits exchange bodily fluids in the cosmos together and became one. Just kidding. She just walked into the room and placed a chair in the front of the classroom and made a couple jokes about the weather being too hot. But she did have a certain look to her, I guess. I don't know. But so we jump right into it.
I hope you are doing well because we are in intense collective times. There's so much chaos and change, which are ultimately synonyms all around on the world stage and maybe in your life. I know I'm going through a lot of personal changes right now. This year of the conduit, as Ariane, the Lyran Council of Time, is calling it, it's a year with a lot of purging and releasing energy. It's calling us to sustain balance and focus during so much intensity. I want to overview the current energies, and then we'll talk about this month's focus as we strengthen our conduit that anchors evolution and new potential into the field of the human experience. And of course, the earth experience that we're all in. It's the work of light working, and it's not an overnight process.
Honestly, I pretty quickly got lost in the sauce. She is definitely saying words right now, and it is literally impossible to keep up. This is kind of in line with what I was expecting, if I'm honest. No clue how others are reacting at this moment. And then she said, I'm going to begin channeling the Aryan Council of Time. So she sits down in the chair in the middle of the room, closes her eyes, leans back a little bit, and begins some deep breathing. When all of a sudden, her eyes snap open. She leans forward and begins speaking with a new level of seriousness.
And what you do now, as a group, is amplify the Lemurian experience. So as you walk through this journey of time, accessing what was yours in this amplified resonance of group focus, your cellular structure, the resonance that you are, brings into your awareness, into your beingness, the Lemurian aspect of you.
I have no idea what's going on here. And she keeps repeating words, and it's like you could feel like she's trying to say something profound without actually saying anything. But so after a few more minutes of channeling, she closes her eyes once more, and her soul re-enters her body, and she is regular Jamie again. Then she asks the room how the experience was for them. And this is the moment when my perspective on this whole thing started to shift. People poured their hearts out. One person explained how it felt like they were connecting with their inner child and feeling a sense of forgiveness as they worked through the guilt that they've been carrying with them. Another talked about how they've lost several family members recently, and managing the trauma from that has been extremely challenging for them. And the words of the Council of Time gave them a sense of clarity. And I'm confused. Hold on. Why aren't we talking about aliens? This lady just channeled spiritual texts or words or something from galaxies light years away, and you guys are talking about processing your grief? What the f*** is going on here? Jamie then moves on to create another group discussion, and she asks the room, so what is your ego trying to do? And I'm not kidding. Everyone in the entire room says, in unison, protect you. What? Hold on. That sounds true and normal. What? Wait. I don't think I've actually heard anything about that. I kind of like that. I like that. Wait, I like that. What the f***? Is this group therapy? What the f*** is going on? Over the next 2 hours, we did just that. It became a full-on group therapy session with people going through their past, expressing horrible things that happened to them, processing traumas, and explaining the connections between your emotions and your actions that honestly sounded very normal. This is crazy. We completely stopped talking about aliens and galaxies and focused much more on forgiving yourself and allowing yourself to be loved and to love others, and recognizing your history as a part of who you are. I am floored. I was not expecting this at all. I thought it was going to be complete nonsense, and I was going to have to disguise myself as a crackpot just to survive. But it seems like people here are actually getting some real value out of this. Like, these magical stories about aliens and heart minds and galaxies is just a convoluted way to open yourself up to healing from your past? I feel conflicted. It does seem like these people are being taken advantage of, being charged ridiculous amounts of money for something seemingly hollow and pointless. But these people really seem to enjoy it, at least those that are speaking up. And I think if I were to currently rank this group among other cults and cult-like things, such as Scientology, I think I would rank it below, given I haven't seen any use of shame or manipulation tactics. Maybe it's more something like astrology, but with a much larger price tag. So worse than astrology, but not as bad as Scientology. I'd maybe put Flat Earth and QAnon right in between those two. And then maybe Andrew Tate fans are worse than this, because that actually it's more manipulative and more toxic. Or maybe we put, whatever, regardless. So after about an hour and a half, we take a 15-minute break. So I get in line for the bathroom, and I'm standing next to this guy who's maybe 50 or 55 years old. But during the workshop, he was actually giving me a couple weird looks. So once I'm standing next to him, he quickly turns to me and asks me,
Hey, how old are you?
29?
Oh, okay.
That makes a little more sense. I thought you were like 22, and I was like, how does a 22-year-old have childhood trauma? Like, how'd you get here?
Oh, yeah, I just, I've been reading a lot about the stories of the Lemurians, and I just found out about this conference last night.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you know about, like, Atlantis, right?
Yeah?
Yeah, so the Lemurians were... Oh, hey, this is my wife. This guy's 29. He isn't 22.
Oh, hey, nice to meet you, but Brian, we need to step outside.
Oh, okay. We'll talk later.
Okay.
What the f did he just say to me? Did he just say childhood trauma is a prerequisite for being here? Wow. These poor people. I guess this is nice because these weird science fiction stories can help people work through their emotions without confronting their past head on. And I guess they are getting some sort of toolkit like positive thinking and breathing exercises and stuff, but I don't know. I feel kind of bad. I wish I could have talked to him for a little bit while longer and figure out if all of this has been helping him recognize and confront his childhood trauma. Because why would he mention that so casually? Like, that was crazy. Also, it double sucks he ran away so quickly because he was the only person during this whole adventure that said anything directly about the Lemurians. He even mentioned Atlantis. Like, that was my guy. Why is it so hard to find someone to talk about ancient aliens at a Ancient Aliens Expo? Like, excuse me? But so I go back into the workshop and we keep talking about ego and loving yourself and stuff. During some of these talks about ego, the wife of the guy I spoke with during the break asked a question. And she was confused about the whole ego thing. Like, she had heard it's important not to have an ego and was confused about why we are talking about treating your ego like your inner child and stuff like that. And if I'm honest, I don't remember how Jamie responded, but she basically did a very poor job of explaining it. And I think that might be because she's kind of improvising about science fiction stories and infinite connections the whole time. So she ended up just nodding to herself and said, yeah, I think I get it, and stopped there. It was a good reminder that this is not a professional space whatsoever, and there very well could be more people in this room that realize the Kool-Aid tastes kind of funky, and they just aren't speaking up. But then after a little bit more talking, Jamie says she's going to attempt to do some light language to close out the workshop. Now, I've been enjoying this adventure so far. I've learned a lot, but this is what made the experience so much more worth it. Standing in front of everyone, Jamie closes her eyes, takes a deep breath, and begins.
Hamushtaru sat ile sektirane heshon, shanu saramekturat isiele erot nesukua. Hamjaro set ne maua, mem shura set ne kakailele yam. Shani surat hua. Samsarasayak deru steiret ul. Nem shura sat iru ta huam ka. Hom erstur sarat ne larut ne ekua. Hum sura ne huam.
Now, not gonna lie, this is the only time I have come close to blowing my cover, because as soon as she started going off, I almost lost it. I actually had to cover my mouth and hide myself from laughing. This is amazing. I love this. Oh my god, beautiful, perfect, 0 notes. Wow. Thank you, Jamie. God damn it. Woo! Immediately after the light language, the room responded. And, as you might predict, they loved it. They loved it a lot. Some people described closing their eyes and seeing a big white light encompassing their vision. Others described going on a journey through the clouds or through the trees. Clearly, the light language really had a good impact on these people. Wow. This really has been a 3-hour group therapy session with 2 bookends of complete fantastical nonsense. I've been giving this weird cult scam artist convention thing a lot of slack for not being evil enough while providing some value for people who are struggling to work through their trauma. But seeing that one woman be confused, I really needed that reminder, because I understand confronting your trauma head on is something that takes a lot of time and effort, and it can be difficult. I can also understand that normal therapy can actually be up to 3 times more expensive if you calculate the rates per hour under certain types of health insurance. And with those poor material conditions many people in America are facing, paired up with a gutted and under-resourced education system, you're gonna have kind of stupid people hungry for an answer to a very complicated problem. And expensive stories about ancient civilizations and infinite heart minds will kind of suffice in place of actual therapy. At least for some. I can't blame these people at all. They may not be the brightest, but I do believe they are completely innocent for believing in what they believe. However, can I forward that same forgiveness to Jamie Price? I think it's time that I confront her.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for that. Really, really heartwarming stuff.
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, I really liked all the things you were speaking about around ego. I had never thought about it like that before.
Nice. I'm happy you grew from this.
I was just curious, when did you start doing the light language channeling? You were channeling Ari something?
Arion, the Lyrian Council of Time, yes.
Oh, okay. So how do you spell that?
That's Areon and Lyran, Council of Time.
Oh, okay. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, I just had never seen channeling before. I had heard about it, but never seen it in person. How did you do that? Can, anyone do that?
Yeah, it just takes a lot of practice and patience, like all things. A really simple way you can get started is free writing. Just get a pen and paper and start writing things down, and then all of a sudden the words will start coming to you and you won't know where they're coming from, and it's up to you to find that out.
Wow, that sounds like a really good practice. Well, perfect. Thank you so much again for your workshop. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you for coming. Have a good evening.
You too.
Now, this was probably just me projecting, but during that conversation, I felt like we could both tell we were lying to each other and just going with it. I straight up asked how to spell the Aryan Council of Time, and I'm typing this into my phone as she's saying it to me. I'm looking this up right now, and I'm not gonna find anything. I don't know, it's just so hard for me to believe that she believes in her own bullshit. And I felt like I could kind of see it in her eyes as we shook each other's hands with big smiles across our faces. Also, when I googled the Aryan Council of Time thing, the first thing that pops up is her own website. So, but still, I have to admit, more than half of that workshop felt like somewhat constructive group therapy. And I did like that one line I learned about ego. So maybe I'm the naive one. Maybe there's more research to be done. So I head into the hallway, and I see this short lady that I actually had spoken with before earlier, but I didn't mention it because I hate short people.
Hey, I just finished up my workshop with Jamie. It was so good.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. I'm so glad you got to do it. Oh, that's so nice. I was thinking doing the animal channeling workshop, but oh, wow, I don't know if I can afford but I might have to, I don't know.
Wow, that's, so what are you selling kombucha here?
Yeah, I'm a volunteer and I have to stay right here. Do you want any kombucha?
No, that's fine. How did you get involved in all of this?
Oh, I started working with the Stargate people. Do you know what a Stargate is?
No, I don't.
Oh, let me introduce you. I've been working with them for a while now. You'll love them so much.
She takes me into the vendor room and introduces me to this tall, middle-aged woman who's standing in front of a table with a couple dozen Stargates of various sizes, which are these pyramid-like structures with a couple extra lines, maybe made out of copper or something like that. And then she starts talking.
Hi, you wanna hear about the Stargate?
Yeah.
Great. So the Stargate is what we use to connect with the 15th dimension. Now I know, I can barely get with the 4th or the 5th dimension, let alone the 6th dimension, but the Stargate is a portal that helps you reactivate your dormant multidimensional DNA and show you the universe and yourself, really.
Whoa, how does it work?
You could just touch them like this, and you feel it, and you can take one of these small ones and hold it here.
Wow, wow. So anyways, I just learned about this expo last night, and I originally came to Mount Shasta because I was reading about the Lemurians and the mountain. Do you know anything about the Lemurians?
Well, the Lemurians are a story. I'm much more drawn to the mountain, honestly. I was ordained on the mountain. I have a balcony where I look at the mountain every day. I say good morning, I say good night. I really, really feel a connection to the mountain. Yeah, there's the Lemurians and stories about them and the mountain, There's a lot here at the expo. It's a bit stretched. I just like the mountain. I'm not sure I believe all of it really, but I sort of just let it go, because I'd kind of rather be in here than
out there?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, thank you so much for talking with me.
Yeah, you too. Have a nice day.
You too.
I'd rather be in here than out there. The Lumerians are a story. The Stargate, the Aryan Council of Time, light language, demon grandmothers, manifesting gold, animal channeling. These are all stories that kind of feel like an answer. An answer to the question, why? Why am I so sad all the time? Why do I feel out of control? Why are things changing so quickly around me? What the f*** is even happening? I don't think this place truly gives people a concrete answer to these questions. But when you're in a vulnerable mindset, something like light language, or the story about the Lumerians, kind of feel like an answer. It feels good. It feels conclusive. It feels like some kind of digestible explanation. On the flip side, when you look out into the real world, it gets overwhelming pretty fast. I can't blame these people. I think they are completely innocent. At least, I can't blame those people spending the money to come to this expo. Are the event organizers exploiting these vulnerable people for profit? Maybe. Are some people still receiving some kind of value here? Maybe. Are there much, much more nefarious scam artists operating in much larger positions of power doing systematic exploitation on a global level? Yes. These fantastical answers to people's problems are going to continue to exist until we solve the underlying material conditions that lead people to these answers in the first place. The Lumerian Life Expo is simply a symptom of a much, much larger problem. And when I think about that problem too much and how difficult it is going to be to solve, honestly, I get overwhelmed too. And I'd rather just go on a hike and not think about it. And with that, I think my story is complete. There's only one thing left to do.
Thank you, Lumerians. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, capitalism. Thank you, Mount Shasta.
Just wanted to give a special thanks to Syd for doing the drawings used in the animations. You can go follow his Instagram in the description. Also, thank you Jordan, Ryan, Arav, Nicole, and Riley for doing the voiceovers. And thank you for watching if you made it this far. Holy crap, this video took way too long. Sorry about that. Please subscribe and motivate me to make more. You can maybe donate on Patreon. Check the description if there is one. I don't know yet. But thank you for watching.